The woman brought in a box of test tubes containing various colored potions: green, red, purple, yellow, pink, orange, gray, and white. The girl picked up a blue tube to try, but after drinking it, she was utterly disappointed. It's no good. It's really undrinkable. The drug's reaction is too low. It doesn't bring out the medicinal properties at all. The girl felt completely helpless. The martial arts world was developing rapidly, and with it, the pharmaceutical industry was growing even more. Every day, new and better formulas were being researched, and old ones were being discarded. The girl was the young lady of the Ha family. The Ha family was now in decline due to their overly conservative and outdated mindset, clinging to the old and refusing to accept new ideas. All the formulas at the Xingshantang pharmacy were old ones from hundreds of years ago, completely uncompetitive in the market. If she couldn't find a new formula soon, the business her father had entrusted to her would just go down the drain. The young lady Ha gritted her teeth in frustration, but she currently lacked the ability to do research, so her only option was to cooperate with an old pharmacist. She had to get the new formula that old Mr. Zhang had recently invented. Whether the Ha family could survive this depended on this one chance. Just as Ms. Ha stepped in, the blonde guy managed to push Lucian out. He rushed over to greet his boss. "Miss Ha, aren't you supposed to be at the market next door today?" Miss Ha paid no attention to him and walked straight into the compounding room in a huff. Although the blonde guy looked worried on the outside, his soul had been completely captivated by the girl. In his eyes, Miss Ha was always beautiful, elegant, and her looks were beyond compare. In his eyes, this girl was eternally a goddess, to the point where he even fantasized about a house and children with her. Just as he was reaching the peak of his fantasy, a shout brought him back to reality. "Mako, did you sneak someone into my compounding room?" The guy was still not fully out of his daze and muttered that Miss Ha was beautiful even when she was angry, which made her even more furious. Mako kept denying it, but Miss Ha had no time to argue with him. She slapped her forehead and told him to get out immediately. "Forget it. You don't need to come in tomorrow." Miss Ha, now in the compounding room, really wanted to pick a fight with someone. The girl threw the shirt Lucian had just worn into the trash. As she cleaned the room, she muttered to herself because all the test tubes now had to be washed and then disinfected. The more she cleaned, the more things she found. But suddenly, the box containing the mutated green lizard caught her eye. This was even activated with activating gas. After all, this is a valuable item. But on second thought, it was probably just a pipe dream of hers. The person probably just wanted to research the medicine himself. And to do research, one needed a deep understanding of pharmacology. She thought that Lucian, who didn't even have a compounding room, was dreaming of getting rich overnight. But then again, she herself was now pinning her hopes on such a vague possibility. After cleaning everything on the table, she looked down and saw a broken test tube on the floor. She felt even more helpless and couldn't help but complain. Sneaking into someone else's compounding room, using their equipment without permission, and now breaking things for fun? The girl bent down to pick up the broken pieces and realized something was wrong. The shape and smell of this substance. Could it be condensed moonstone and the root of the Tunis sinensis tree? This was the first time she had seen a combination of these two. The girl touched it, dabbed a drop, and then brought it to her lips to taste. The reaction was surprisingly beyond her imagination. Mako was dragging his suitcase away after being heartlessly fired by his goddess. He sighed with regret. "That bastard got me killed. If I had known, I wouldn't have gone for that small amount of money." He never thought his connection with his goddess would end just like that. Mako angrily turned back to look at the pharmacy and prayed to the heavens. "Oh God, please let me see my goddess one more time, even just once. Speak of the devil, and she shall appear." Mako saw Ms. Ha rushing towards him, waving for him to come back. "Mako! Mako! Don't go, stop!" Seeing Ms. Ha calling him, Mako was moved to tears. He dropped everything in his hands and ran towards the beautiful woman. "I knew you had me in your heart. I'm not going anywhere. I'll only stay by your side. You are my eternal home." Mako opened his arms wide, ready to embrace his beloved, But unexpectedly, Mizha grabbed him by the collar and yelled furiously. "Who was in my compounding room just now? I need to see that person immediately." Mako was shaken so hard by Mizha that his soul almost left his body. Mizha offered that if he could find Lucian, he could continue working and even get a double salary. In his daze, Mako managed to say that he had Lucian's contact information. Hearing this, Mizha's face lit up as if she had struck gold. She snatched his phone and then ruthlessly threw him aside. It was only through his daze that he understood how desperately she needed to find Lucian. The formula he had just created had a blood-replenishing effect 10 times stronger than the drugs currently sold on the market for 100,000 yuan. Moreover, after trying it, she also noticed its beautifying effects, like whitening her skin and even toning her muscles. The main ingredients were common materials, costing less than 5,000 yuan. This could be a revolutionary new drug for the world. She dialed Lucian's number. Finally, she had met the person she had been searching for. This was the Ha family's chance. Meanwhile, Lucian was diligently training after his recent energy boost. The stellar body tempering art is truly worthy of being a level 11 technique from 10,000 years in the future. It's unimaginable what a great invention it is for the human body's potential. If I continue like this, maybe my body will really be able to create a star system. Not only that, the natural breathing method is also amazing. It has a super strong ability. Without this breathing method to complement it, the effect of the body tempering art wouldn't be as good. His blood essence had increased a lot, and the effect of the Spirit Foundation blood strengthening decoction was also very good. He had just made 12 vials. With his current physique, drinking 2 vials a day was enough, and in 6 days, he would have to think of a way to make more. His phone suddenly rang continuously. The ringtone was a popular song. Lucian walked over, picked up the phone, and answered immediately. As soon as the call connected, Hazel Ha spoke urgently, as if afraid he would hang up. "Master, hello. I apologize for bothering you. I am Hazel Ha, the person in charge of Xing Shantang. I saw the potion you left behind. It is a product that will usher in a new era." Hazel Ha offered to cooperate with Lucian. He agreed immediately, but scheduled a meeting for a week later. Then he hung up, leaving the girl with a frozen expression. Hazel Ha was desperate to meet this mysterious person now, but he was still playing hard to get. Remembering something, she shook Mako awake. She ordered him to find Lucian and bring him back right away. "From now on, you are in charge of finding the master for me, as quickly as possible. If you find him before 6 days, for every day earlier, you get a 10,000 yuan bonus." Hearing the generous reward, Mako's spirits lifted immediately. "You have to keep your word, boss." But recalling Lucian's appearance, Mako asked Hazel Ha if she was mistaken. The person who had borrowed his compounding room was only in his late teens. He looked like just a student, which made Hazel Ha suddenly feel confused. She imagined a scholarly-looking male student with glasses, researching medicinal herbs to produce a quality product. Hazel Ha began to have doubts. If Lucian was just a student and had already created such a potion, then what kind of god was he? Lucian continued his diligent daily training. The routine of fighting zombies in his dreams was repeated. Every day, another zombie was knocked out by a single punch to the jaw from Lucian. The pain was indescribable. But that wasn't Lucian's main goal for today. His target today was the giant zombie over there. In terms of size, Lucian only came up to its knee. But he wanted to see if a level 1 martial artist like himself could fight a level 4 martial artist zombie like it. Before he could do anything, the zombie charged at him and landed a sorrowful punch, injuring Lucian slightly. This zombie was incredibly strong, at least twice as strong as Lucian. The zombie continued to charge forward to attack. But this time, Lucian dodged its attack and showed it what the world was made of. Lucian had somehow gotten behind it and kicked it hard in the back, making it squeal like a stuck pig. Attacked from behind, the zombie quickly turned around, intending to give Lucian a piece of its mind. But he was faster raising his leg high and bringing it down with full force on its head, knocking it out instantly. Finally, he had taken it down. He thought it would be easy, and it really was. This zombie was a soldier who had died on the battlefield. Because zombies like these weren't beasts, it was easy for Lucian to accumulate experience. They were simply the dead. As usual, the zombie's living memories began to enter Lucian. He closed his eyes and received the memories and power of the zombie like a machine. After the fight and absorption were over, Lucian learned that this zombie was actually a level 5 martial artist. No wonder its punch had left him seeing stars. In hindsight, if it hadn't been missing an arm and had no brain, only fighting with the residual instincts in its body, Lucian would have had no chance of defeating it. He had been practicing the stellar body tempering art, the natural breathing method, and the crystal visualization method for almost a week. With the rapid increase in blood essence from the Spirit Foundation blood strengthening decoction, he needed the absorbed memories to achieve a great enlightenment in his fist techniques. If he could combine the secret methods of the stellar body tempering art and the breathing technique, his power output could increase tenfold, even 100-fold. At this moment, other zombies, smelling the scent of a living being, began to approach, unaware that their doom was imminent. What a bunch of brainless creatures. They jumped at Lucian, who was now channeling his new energy, preparing to unleash it and show them a real festival of pain. With a single punch to the ground, Lucian made all the nearby zombies cry out in agony. He had warned them not to get close, but since none of them listened, they had to suffer the consequences. Back in his daily life, Lucian went to the dojo again today to check if his recent dreams had helped him improve at all. As soon as he walked in, the receptionist recognized him immediately. She propped her chin on her hand and asked teasingly, "Little brother, why are you here again? The exam is coming up soon, and blood essence isn't something that can be increased in a short time, right?" "I know, Grandma," Lucian thought. He knew this better than anyone, but that applied to normal people, not him. Lucian scratched his head and replied politely to the receptionist, "Ha, you're right. I just want to make a little more progress." The lady smiled from ear to ear at the handsome young man. In her mind, she thought that this was the second time this month she had seen the handsome Lucian. Normal people came to get tested once every half a month or even half a year at most. Even the schools that paid close attention to student performance only had monthly exams. "Haha, room 20 is empty. You can go in by yourself. Good luck." As he left, Lucian muttered that if his strength wasn't increasing so fast, he wouldn't be coming here to get tested so often. He decided to test his blood first. Unexpectedly, it reached 1.56. Even Lucian was surprised by how much his score had increased, even surpassing the standard for a level 2 martial artist. Lucian happily thought to himself that this made sense. The supreme martial arts from 1,000 years in the future, combined with the advanced supplements of the future world, it would be strange if his level didn't increase significantly. After the blood test, he moved on to the combat power test to see if there was any progress. Lucian rolled up his sleeves, getting ready to give the poor robot a taste of his fist. He landed a blow on the robot's head that made it seem like the dojo would have to replace it. The score displayed was 3,137. This number was too high, even exceeding the standard by 3 times. Lucian was also surprised by his own abilities. This could be due to his fist techniques, but it wasn't just that, because if that were the case, his ultimate combat power would be immeasurable. Lucian decided to try again to see if he could get a better result. This time, he used his full potential to test, and the result was truly terrifying. After he was done, he walked out to leave. The receptionist saw him and quickly struck up a conversation. After all, he was a handsome guy. If she didn't talk to him and missed the opportunity, she wouldn't be able to sleep at night from regret. "Little brother, are you done with your test? You look very pleased with the results, don't you?" Lucian smiled and replied, "Yes, very pleased." Then, the two said their goodbyes. The receptionist's smile was so bright it could outshine the sun. After Lucian left, the receptionist smiled to herself, thinking that Lucian acted all cool, but he was actually quite handsome when he smiled. Her entire range of expressions had been caught by her two younger siblings. The pink-haired girl was Sierra, the eldest daughter of the owner of the Crimson River Dojo. Following behind her was her younger brother. Sierra teased the receptionist. "I just took the little brat to soak in his medicinal bath and came back to find you fawning over a guy." The receptionist, having been called out, quickly denied it. "I was just talking to a normal high school student." "What do you mean, fawning?" But she still had to admit that Lucian was very attractive. The younger brother behind them heard the two sisters talking about a handsome guy and shook his head in disdain. Being handsome is useless. You can't eat it. In this society, martial arts is everything. The boy even showed contempt for Lucian, saying that from his appearance, he could tell he was just from an ordinary family. No matter how many times he got tested, it would be pointless. Sierra glanced at her younger brother. Since he was young, he had been taking all sorts of supplements. Even though he hadn't started cultivating yet, his blood essence value was already twice that of a normal person. Now that he was practicing various martial arts, the gap between him and his peers was constantly widening. It wasn't hard to understand why he was so arrogant. Sierra was annoyed by her little brother, so she punched him in the head and scolded him. "You, don't compare yourself to ordinary kids." Then she sternly reminded him, "Kale, with better resources, you should work even harder at your cultivation, not be arrogant all day because of your small achievements." The pink-haired boy was hit so hard by Sierra that his head swelled up. He could only sit down and cry, not daring to fight back against his sister. In the midst of his tears, his competitive nature kicked in. He suddenly smiled again and grabbed Sierra's arm. "Hee, Sister Sierra, let me ask you something. I want to see that guy's test results." Sierra didn't know why her younger brother wanted to see Lucian's results. The boy explained that Lucian looked a few years older than him, probably still a student, so he wanted to see if his diligent training had any effect. Sierra couldn't refuse her little brother's whining, but before she opened the results, she reminded him that he was just a normal person and not to get too full of himself. The receptionist also handed them the results, saying that only one person had come for a test today, so they could look at it right there. Sierra took the tablet. She read Lucian's name, confirming he was indeed a student, but her expression changed instantly.